The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. The Senate has begun deliberations on the 5.76 trillion peso proposed national budget for 2024. The Senate Committee on Finance led by Senator Sonny Angara spearheaded the onset of the budget scrutiny. The Education Department gets the biggest chunk of the proposed expenditure program as required by the Constitution. DepEd and all agencies under it have a proposed budget of 924.7 billion pesos. This is followed by the Public Works Department at 822.2 billion pesos. The Health Department gets the third biggest allocation with 306 billion pesos. DOH is followed by the Interior, Defense, Transportation, Social Welfare, and Agriculture departments. The Judiciary has the ninth biggest budget at 57.8 billion pesos, while the Labor Department completed the top 10 agencies with the biggest proposed budget. The Socio-Economic Planning Department is confident that the country's economy can still grow in the next months. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said that the government's GDP growth target of 6 to 7% this year is still, quote, achievable. He underscored that the government can still address its underspending in the second half of the year. Balisacan's statement comes after the economy slowed to 4.3% from April to June from 6.4% logged in the first quarter.
We need to grow by 6.6% in the second half to achieve the growth of the lower projection of target of 6% for the entire year. We really believe that that's very achievable. We haven't lost the value of the underspending in the first semester that we can deploy in the second semester.
In other news, Pagcor is considering a 4 billion peso investment into the Maharlika Fund. During a House budget hearing, Pagcor Chairman Alejandro Tenco said they are looking to allocating some 50% of their earnings to the MIF. The agency is likewise studying the possibility of investing some of their retained earnings in the fund.
Tinitingnan din po namin dahil meron din po kami retained earnings sa bangko. Ayon po sa batas, we can invest a certain percentage of our retained earnings for government investments.
The regulator is also eyeing to privatize some of its casinos. 45 of Pagcor's casinos are set to privatize by the third quarter of 2025. Tenco claimed that this has already been approved by President Bongbong Marcos.
Definitely, my trust, Your Honor, is to privatize the 45 casinos of Pagcor. My goal is to increase the value of what we will privatize. So, ang aking pong tinitingnan na timeline is middle of 2025 po. Tuloy na po yun. Hindi na po tayo mapipigil doon.
The Social Welfare Department says it will be done reassessing the beneficiaries of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program or FourPs by the end of September. This was done after the supposed anomaly where 1.4 million households were weeded for initially being tagged as no longer poor. The FourPs is the government's conditional cash transfer program for the poorest families in the country. The agency says it is being careful in the assessment or the reassessment rather to make sure that the assistance will go to deserving households. DSWD allocated some 96 billion pesos in funds for the 4Ps program in its 2024 proposed budget.
So ongoing yung reassessment ngayon at matatapos yan ng September para talagang masigurado natin na masala natin ng mabuti yung dapat kasama sa 4Ps program, kasama sa program, yung dapat hindi nakasama sa program, hindi nakasama sa program. Sinigurado lang natin talagang na, like I said, na nafi-filter na maayos.
More stories coming your way after a quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. One expert defends China's use of water cannons against Philippine vessels on a resupply mission in the Ayungin Shoal. Herman Tiu Laurel, president of think tank Asian Century Philippines Strategic Studies Institute, says the use of water cannons was non-lethal. Laurel deemed the water cannons as the most benign instrument of control. The expert believes China was merely exercising its sovereignty over the area. The Philippine Coast Guard earlier slammed China's actions, saying that the supply boat could have capsized because of the water cannon.
Water cannons are the most benign police instrument for crowd control. For any such situations where you need to control activities of what you feel are forces intruding. It is good nga, it is a David and Goliath situation, because if not, then you may have had a real clash already with the arms and so on.
Laurel also blasted Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson Jay Tariela, who said that pro-China Filipinos are traitors. For Laurel, Tariela is a, quote, tainted source, citing the spokesman's meetings with U.S. officials.
It is Tariela who is unpatriotic and traitorous, because he just came back from the United States. He's a tainted source. So are many other Filipinos posing as patriots and nationalists over these issues. When Claro M. Recto or Renato Constantino writes books about the colonization of the Philippines, the colonial mentality of the Philippines, is that being treasonous? You know, because these are realities.
Here now is a glance of today's other top stories. Tollways giants Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation and San Miguel Corporation have formalized their joint undertaking to build the Cavite-Batangas Expressway and the Nasugbu-Bawan Expressway. MPTC and SMC will jointly design, build, and operate the combined 87.96 kilometer stretch of the CBEX and NBEX, which has a combined cost of 72 billion pesos. Philippine Airlines welcomes the government's move to stop requiring proof of vaccination for international arrivals. Filipinos traveling abroad, however, are encouraged to check on the vaccine certificate requirements of the country of their destination. The National Bureau of Investigation confirmed that TV host Jay Sonza was turned over to them and is now at Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. The Immigration Bureau detained Sonza after he attempted to fly to Hong Kong, while there was an active warrant of arrest for him due to syndicated and large-scale illegal recruitment. One News Now will be back at 6 p.m. with the day's latest stories. See you then. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News. Meanwhile, the FIBA World Cup starts on August 25. Support Gilas, support Team Pilipinas. Watch and buy tickets to the biggest sports event of the year. Let us all root for our team.